30 push-ups. That's it! No gym membership, no equipment, no excuses. Just you, the floor, and about 2 minutes of your day. But here's what nobody tells you. Those 30 push-ups are going to trigger a cascade of changes in your body that go way beyond just bigger arms. I'm talking about changes at the cellular level, changes in your cardiovascular system, changes in your brain chemistry, and the science behind it, it's actually pretty wild. So let's break down exactly what happens when you commit to 30 push-ups every single day. First, let's talk about what's happening in the first week. When you start doing push-ups daily, you're not actually building muscle yet. I know, disappointing, right? But here's what is happening. Your nervous system is learning. There's a phenomenon called neuromuscular adaptation, and research from the European Journal of Applied Physiology shows that in the first 7 to 10 days of any new exercise, your strength gains come almost entirely from your brain getting better at recruiting muscle fibers, not from the muscles themselves growing. Your body is basically optimizing the connection between your brain and your muscles. Those first few days when push-ups feel impossible, and then suddenly, by day 5, they're slightly less impossible? That's your central nervous system, figuring out how to fire the right muscles in the right sequence. But let's move into week 2 and 3, because this is where the real magic starts. A study published in JAMA Network Open followed over 1,100 middle-aged male firefighters and found something incredible. The participants, who could complete more than 40 push-ups, had a 96% lower risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who could barely do 10. Push-up capacity is a legitimate marker of heart health. Here's why. When you do push-ups, you're not just working your chest, shoulders, and triceps. You're engaging your core, your legs for stabilization, and most importantly, you're making your heart work. Each push-up requires your cardiovascular system to pump oxygenated blood to multiple muscle groups simultaneously. A study from the American College of Sports Medicine found that push-ups can elevate your heart rate to 50 to 70% of your maximum, which falls right into the moderate intensity cardio zone. So every single day, when you knock out those 30 push-ups, you're giving your heart a workout. And your heart, like any muscle, adapts. Your resting heart rate starts to drop. Your blood pressure can improve. Research in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that participants who did push-ups daily for 8 weeks saw an average decrease of 4 to 5 points in systolic blood pressure. Now let's talk muscle. By week 3 or 4, if you're consistent, you're going to start noticing actual hypertrophy, which is the fancy term for muscle growth. Push-ups primarily target your pectoralis major, your anterior deltoids, and your triceps. But according to biomechanical research published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science, they also activate your serratus, anterior, your core stabilizers, and even your glutes if you're maintaining proper form. The beauty of doing 30 push-ups daily is that you're hitting that sweet spot of volume without overtraining. A meta-analysis in sports medicine found that muscle protein synthesis, the process that builds muscle, peaks at around 24 to 48 hours after exercise. By doing push-ups every day, you're constantly stimulating this process, which leads to consistent, steady gains. Here's something most people don't realize. Push-ups are a closed kinetic chain exercise, meaning your hands are fixed and your body moves. Research shows these types of exercises are superior for joint stability and functional strength. Compared to exercises like bench press, a study in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapies found that closed-chain exercises activate stabilizer muscles 30% more than their open-chain counterparts. This means better shoulder health, reduced injury risk, and strength that actually translates to real-world activities. Let's talk about something that surprised me. When I dove into the research, the metabolic effects, a study from Harvard tracked 80,000 adults over 10 years and found that those who did regular bodyweight exercises, including push-ups, had a 23% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Why? Because muscle tissue is metabolically active. The more muscle you have, the more glucose your body uses, even at rest. Those 30 daily push-ups are building muscle. That's literally helping regulate your blood sugar around the clock. And here's where it gets really interesting from a longevity perspective. Research published in the British Medical Journal found that muscular strength is inversely associated with all-cause mortality. In simpler terms, the stronger you are, the longer you're likely to live. The study followed participants for decades and found that those in the highest strength quartile had a 31% lower risk of premature death compared to those in the lowest quartile. Now, I'm not saying 30 push-ups will make you immortal, but the data suggests that maintaining upper body strength as you age is one of the most predictive factors for healthy aging. And unlike running or cycling, which primarily benefit your lower body and cardiovascular system, push-ups give you functional upper body strength that helps with everything from carrying groceries to catching yourself if you trip. Let's address the elephant in the room. Will 30 push-ups get you jacked? Honestly, probably not. If your goal is to look like a bodybuilder, you'll need progressive overload. But here's what will happen. A study in the Journal of Exercise Rehabilitation found that participants who did moderate daily body weight training for 12 weeks saw an average increase of 15% in lean muscle mass in the targeted areas. That's noticeable. Your chest will have more definition, your arms will look more toned, and your posture will improve. Speaking of posture, this is huge. We live in a world where most of us are hunched over screens all day. Push-ups, when done correctly, strengthen the muscles that pull your shoulders back and keep your spine aligned. Research from the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy shows that participants who did regular push-ups reported a 40% reduction in upper back and neck pain after just 6 weeks. If you're getting value from this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps more people discover this content. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: the mental benefits. There's substantial research showing that resistance training improves mental health. A systematic review in JAMA Psychiatry analyzed 33 clinical trials and found that resistance exercise significantly reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. The effect size was comparable to taking medication or doing traditional talk therapy. Why? Partly because of endorphins and dopamine release during exercise, but also because there's something psychologically powerful about setting a goal, doing something hard every day, and seeing tangible progress. Those 30 push-ups become a daily win. And research in behavioral psychology shows that small daily wins create momentum and improve overall life satisfaction. There's also the discipline factor. A study from the European Journal of Social Psychology found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. If you can stick with 30 push-ups daily for 2 months, you've not only transformed your body, you've proven to yourself that you can commit to something and follow through. Now let's be real about potential downsides. If you're doing the exact same 30 push-ups every single day with no variation, you'll eventually hit a plateau. Your body adapts to repeated stress. Research suggests varying your hand placement, tempo, or adding incline or decline variations every few weeks to keep challenging your muscles differently. There's also injury risk if your form is poor. A study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that improper push-up technique, particularly letting your hips sag or flaring your elbows too wide, increases stress on the shoulder joint and lower back. So form matters more than speed. So what's the final verdict? 30 push-ups a day is legitimately one of the most efficient exercises you can do. You're improving cardiovascular health, building functional strength, increasing muscle mass, enhancing mental health, and potentially adding years to your life, all for 2 minutes of effort. The research is clear. Consistency beats intensity for long-term health outcomes. You don't need to destroy yourself in the gym for 2 hours. You need to show up every single day and do something. And 30 push-ups is the perfect something. Will it transform you into a superhero? No, but it will make you stronger, healthier, and more resilient than you were yesterday. And if you do it every day for a year, you'll be doing 10,950 push-ups. That adds up to real, measurable change. So here's my challenge to you: start tomorrow. Just 30. If you can't do 30 regular push-ups yet, do them on your knees or against a wall. The specific variation doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Track your progress, feel your body change, and let the science work. If this motivated you to take action, subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based fitness content. And seriously, go do those push-ups. Your future self will thank you.